Hello, my name is D.L. Anderson. I'm the founder of Pinnacle of Holiness Ministries. Today, I'm going to be sharing more information about our Transformation by Truth podcast in this podcast extended trailer. Let's get started. Now, there are 4 questions I want to answer in today's trailer. What this podcast is about, why I started this podcast, who this podcast is for, and when you can tune it. Let's start with what this podcast is about, what makes us unique. Now, Transformation by Truth is a podcast the Father has commissioned Pinnacle of Holiness Ministries to launch in order to share the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth concerning the transformation required for us to have everlasting life. Now, we're all being transformed in one way or another, every hour of every day. The problem is many are being transformed by lies and misinformation, and this is working against their election into the eternal kingdom of heaven. Therefore, it is imperative for everyone who believes they are on the one path that leads to everlasting life to ensure the transformation they are experiencing is in accordance with truth. Now, without controversy, truth is the most precious commodity in our world. It's more valuable than silver and gold. It's even more valuable than time. Yet, despite this truth, there aren't many places in this world where an honest man or woman can go to receive the unfiltered word of truth. Now, let's discuss why I started this podcast. There was a need I was called to fill. Now, I started this podcast because the conglomerate church is not teaching the truth concerning the transformation required for us to have everlasting life. They are ignorantly and sometimes willfully leaving critical pieces out. They know because I spent decades in the church circuit witnessing countless examples of spiritual malpractice and religious fraud, highlighted by men and women in leadership telling their followers what they think they want to hear, whether it's true or not. And I have seen the great ruin it has caused in the lives of many honest believers who were spiritually impaired, often devastated, and sometimes destroyed, all because they were not being told the truth, and so they were deceived into believing a lie. For that reason, I not only left the church circuit, I founded an independent spirit-led ministry dedicated to transforming honest men and women into true disciples by utilizing the most precious and valuable commodity in our world, truth. Now, even though truth is the most precious commodity in our world, the conglomerate church has recklessly tossed it into the street. And so I was commanded to take hold of it, become one with it, and share it with everyone the Father leads to our ministry. Now, let's discuss who this podcast is for. This podcast is for you if you have left the church or you are on the verge of leaving because the Spirit has allowed you to see through its facade, and you need a spiritually validated source of truth to guide you down the one path that leads to everlasting life and to keep you strong along the way. You are dealing with spiritual and or physical crises, which you cannot overcome on your own. And you need someone who can be used by the Father to end your suffering. For you know it's not his will that any should perish, and his desire for you is that you be made whole. You know the dominion, authority, and power of the Spirit are real, as are effectual prayer, fasting, and a superior spiritual focus. And you want to be part of a ministry that operates within these key facets of the Father's will and is prepared to show you how. You love Elohim with all your heart, mind, and strength. And because you love him, you also love truth. And you are willing and prepared to live your life according to the truth, no matter the sacrifice involved. You know we are living in the last days, And the Spirit has revealed to you that now is the time to make your calling and election sure. Now is the time to awake from sleep, to put on the armor of truth and war like never before. For the days are evil and they're only going to get worse. Now, if any of these examples resonate with you and you hear the Spirit speaking to you even now saying, "This is the way, walk in it," this podcast is perfect for you, and it was specifically created with you in mind. Now, let's discuss when you can tune in for those who are being led by the Spirit. You can tune into our podcast every weekday, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Spotify, Apple, Google, or anywhere you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Transformation by Truth and you'll find us. Now, if you ever miss a podcast, don't worry. Just go to www.transformationbytruth.com. There you can access a catalog of all our podcasts, starting with our feature week and every ensuing Truth series that Father leads us to create for our audience. Now, here is the most important thing to note. Our podcast is a public office and the primary tool we are using to A, connect with our audience, and B, draw the men and women the Father has specifically called to join our organization, because there is a lot more in store for them. Most notably, we'll be taking our members on a quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life in 2022. For 52 weeks, we are going to provide 5 daily lessons, Monday through Friday, covering the most important spiritual topics of our times so that you, at the end of the 52 weeks, will have completed the transformation process required for you to have everlasting life. This is precisely why this quest is a game changer for those who are serious about everlasting life. It's because we're going to give you everything you need to qualify yourself to inherit the most valued prize in the history of our world and to avoid the calamity of endless death. Now, if the Spirit is leading you even now to take the next step so you can become a member of our organization and join us on this quest, all you have to do is click the button below this video player to watch the 7 video podcasts from our Transformation by Truth feature week. These 7 videos provide you with a powerful summary of who we are as an organization and everything you need to do to prepare yourself for this quest. Now, after you watch the 7 video podcasts, you'll be able to fill out a form so you can join us on the Quest for Holiness, Perfection, and Everlasting Life 2022. And if the Spirit is leading you, that is exactly what you should do. Now, if you join us on this quest and you follow the tools, the teaching, and the training we provide, you will achieve the transformation required to manifest the Father's will in every area of your life. And most importantly, you will certify your election into the eternal kingdom of heaven. All you have to do is click on the button below the video player, watch the 7 video podcasts, fill out the form after day 7, and get ready to begin reaping the benefits of the most powerful transformation our world has ever known as you receive the truth in a way you never have before. Amen.